Hi everyone, see you again with me. Today we are going to discuss the new company has already uh, sell the share in the market, the IPO stock in year 2013. So we include 12 company have float their share, and then we are unable to show the company with no financial report, and then we also included two company are going to be in the market very soon. So next, in this table we have 12 company, and then two company in the bottom already or are going to be in the market very soon. So we show the subsector. From the list we see three CPO company, two building construction, hospital, textile, steel pipe, and etc. So if we see in this table, in the very bottom we comparing, there is historical Indonesia government bond yield, or stand for IGBY. From 2011 until today there is a fluctuation 6.05 and drop to 5.39% in the year 2012, and today is 7.21%. So you see also the value is changed based on the Indonesian government bond yield. If we see from the bottom, the two companies are going to float their share in the public. SISR is our own terms on the stock code. It is a Saratoga Sedaya Investama investment holding company, diversified sector. You see from 2011 the value increased from 3,000 to 14,000, but today is dropped below 8,000 because of Indonesia government bond yield increased from 5% to 7%. If we compare the IPO target price, according to our information, the company will fix the IPO price 5,500, so still 40% chance the price to grow. And the next is NRCT is our own terms, is for Nusa Raya Citra building construction company. You see year 2012 they increased from year before 450 to 950 and dropped to 500 because of government bond yield increase compared to target IPO price is 900. So the valuation today is 55% compared to the price. If we see the other list, newly IPO company, we mark in blue is two company or three company already or still have a potential to grow, because delta meaning value compared to price above 100 is still undervalued and still have room for price to grow. This NGT CPO company, BBRM shipping company, ISSP steel pipe company, all three companies still have delta above 100%, so still have potential price to grow because undervalued. So next we see how about their financial performance. So in this table we show you the number of shares, the growth of the revenue in average compared to their industry. Next, earning after tax, and then free cash flow, working capital, liquidation value, and capital expenditure. You see from this table we mark in red, this is DYAN. There is a exhibition company, event organizer. They are running losses with a negative earning after tax and much more or worse for free cash flow, and the rest still making money. So if we check the company what we mark in blue and GT, you see their performance and GT all in the positive position. They don't have negative. Capex is expenses, of course we put in negative. And next, SSP also everything positive. Nobu is a bank, is the performance, the parameter all positive, but Nobu is very small bank with very small asset. We check in the next slide. So next, according to the list of undervalue, we also have BBRM. We have BBRM. Yes, we have a BBRM. And BBRM have negative working capital and also negative liquidation value. So unless the bottom line still maintaining as before, as today, or even increasing, so the negative working capital we can ignore because the company growth and potential is still good. So next we see the financial ratio. We show you asset, revenue, and gross profit. We have financial ratio, return on equity, debt equity, net profit margin, gross profit margin, and return on asset. Again, if we see the company we mark in blue and GT, if we see the financial ratio is above average, like return on asset, return on equity all above 25, debt equity below 0.5, they're having good profit margin, even higher than gross profit margin, because their non-operating income growing very fast. And then next is ASSP, return on equity above average 26, even though return on asset is below 10. And then profit margin also not quite impressive, only 11%. And that equity ratio above 1 point, so 1.1. So it's not quite impressive in their financial ratio, even though they are still undervalued. So next we check in this return on equity. We have a TPMA with 29. We have a unusual number 121% as AME, the hospitality company. The number is quite unusual because it is comparing bottom line with the equity. Their equity is very small because they just improving from deficit equity to positive equity. So that's why the number of return equity is very unusual. Next we see MPMX is a group of Saratoga Investama with return on equity of 22%, return on asset 4%, but the debt equity is very high, 3.9. Same thing as Nobu. Nobu is only have a asset 1.2 trillion. It's not quite impressive. The revenue only 41. So that's why return on equity is below 1. It's very small. Return on equity also 1%. Debt equity 3.9, and they have a very tiny margin despite gross margin 57%. So next is BBRM. We have a return on equity 15% and return on asset below 10. Debt equity ratio is 1.0. Profit margin is quite good, 26%. But again, to select the stock, we have to consider our buying or our the market price that comparing to the value, intrinsic value that present in this presentation. So next we see a company that we make an highlight. ANGT, it is Austindo Nusantara Jaya. We expose you the performance of the financial in the last 3 years, starting 2010 until 2012. So you see the free cash flow per share growing very fast in 2011 and continue to grow very sharp also in 2012. You see same thing as net income, from 300, less than 300, increase to 525, and then in the 2012 almost 1 trillion. So if we see return on equity also growing, improving, profit margin improving, gross margin improving, debt equity ratio they can reduce from 0.8 to 0.2. It's quite impressive. Despite the increase on the capital expenditure, you see the capital expenditure increase from 232 and increase to 423, but the capex on the 2012 is still a little bit less than year 2010. But you see spending 422 billion, they can generate bottom line a little below 1 trillion. So it's quite impressive. Even though the income, some of them coming from non-operating income or non-core business. Next we see steel pipe industry. So we see we already have 2013 performance. If we see the free cash flow is dropped in the 2012 but increase again in the 2013. Balance sheet from deficit to negative, from deficit to positive, and working capital is positive from 2011 to 2013. They still maintain in a positive position. The operation of this company is quite good. If we see even though there is an increase in the capex, but the capex increased from 60 billion to almost 100 billion, but they can generate profit after tax from 32 billion to 317 billion. Is 10 times bigger than 2012 and the 2013. You see, 2013 in this case is based on Q1 performance that we analyze by making 12 months, or we multiply by 4 to become the 12 months. As you know, the Q1 is only the first 3 months, and we make it prediction for next 12 months. So next we see the most interesting thing is the company that is going to put their share in the market, so we can check their financial performance, their valuation. Is there any chance for price to grow? Let's see. So if we see there is a sharp increase in the bottom line, earning after tax from year 2011 is 760, and year 2012 almost 2 trillion, and also the revenue growing from 1.1 trillion to in year 2011, and year after 2012 increased to 2.3 trillion. It's more than double actually. So if we see the capital expenditure they spend from 2011, the capex is around 400 or a little less than 400 billion, and year after that it's reducing quite significantly, only 150 billion. But if you see, with 158 billion comparing to year before 395 billion, it's on they can generate 1.9 bottom line earning after tax compared to 760. So quite impressive and quite effective by cutting of capital expenditure more than 50%. And you see also their dividend ratio is less than 1%. It's very little dividend they distribute. So little dividend by looking at impressive bottom line performance. It shows a great capital allocation which generate quite impressive profit and growth of the business, the expansion of the business. And you see in the debt equity ratio is below 0.5, is quite conservative loan policy, very effective, safety, and still making a positive growth. If you see profit level, it's much higher than gross profit, because in the next slide we show you where the money coming is coming from the other expenses. It is share in net profit of associate, because the typical of this company is investment company, so they place their capital elsewhere. It can be a strategic companies or sister company or whatever. So if you see, the number is 1.9 trillion contribution from net profit of the associate. So that's why the operating or gross profit only less than 300 billion, and other income for share in net profit in associate alone is almost 2 trillion. So next, what is the company investing in the other company, and who are they? You see, we divided into two. I mean, actually, there is the real report, financial report issued by this company. So you see the strategic investment in the company like Adaro Group, which is coal mine, second biggest coal mine company, Bulungan Mandiri, and then NPM. This is also the one who already an IPO, put their share in the market recently. And then Adaro Group comprise profit, the biggest profit almost 500 billion, and they also investing in the several sister company or subsidiary companies, and the biggest contribution in profit is Saratoga Infrastructure. They generate bottom line 1.2 trillion, and they also have some losses like the first three, Baskara, Provident Agro, Bangun Daya Perkasa, running losses. Also Karunia Barito Sejahtera is still in the red performance. So next we see the last is Nusa Raya Cipta. If you see the performance, the bottom line, earning after tax from year 2011 is only 46, and year after is double, 21.8 billion, and bottom line the same thing as the revenue is keep growing from 2011 to 2012, 28% growing from 1.5 to 2 trillion, but that equity ratio is very high, is above 2.0 or even 3. So it is a highly leveraged company. So, but they successfully manage their loan by having a quite impressive bottom line. So that's why their liquidation value is still positive. If their liquidation value is still positive, of course the working capital also positive. So there is a newly IPO company, and the two company coming up very soon. Hopefully this presentation will benefit you and will give you some uh, perspective how to move forward in terms of investing in the stock market. Thank you.